Hi. I promise I'll make this quick. I just want to take a minute to shill our new series on the channel called Violet Everweekly. This is a weekly podcast that discusses each episode of Violet Evergarden, and it's allowed us to bring in more guest appearances from the sub, because normally we ask people to apply to be a guest for this podcast, but we can't get to a lot of them because of time or scheduling or us hogging all 4 spots on an episode. So this is us letting in more guests and having more consistent releases, because that's also something we fail at. Of course, we're still going to talk about Violet Evergarden in this episode, but probably not as in-depth as you might want, because Cav and I have talked about this show for like 3 weeks now, and also we didn't have time to record a 2-hour pod like we did last season, unfortunately. And for that reason, we had to cut 2 anime that were originally on our list, Gaku and Babysitters and Kokoku. And also, Fate Last Encore just didn't have good subs when it came out, so we didn't really talk about that. And also, we left out Devilman Crybaby as some sort of technicality, though we might do a podcast about that later on, so look forward to that. Anything else we didn't cover, we probably are just not watching, but leave a comment if you want to know our thoughts on them or encourage us to watch something, because for the last couple seasons we've skipped a few anime from the first impressions and then got around to them later on and turned out to really love them, so we have them on the retrospective instead. And I think that's it. Check out Violet Everweekly on the channel, follow us on Twitter at Tokyo Podfathers, and as always, spoilers and coarse language.
Also, the guest recording was fucked, so I had to use the Hangouts audio, so if it sounds weird at times, that's why, suck my dick.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the R Anime Podcast. And hey, it's a new year, it's a new you. That means there's new anime. And today we're going to be talking about the 2018 winter season and our first impressions of it so far. I am Fate Steel Taylor, and today I am surrounded by a great group of other panelists, I guess you could say, frequenters of our anime, and people who have, hopefully, exquisite taste. Let's start off with everyone's favorite Russian, Kavrik. How you doing, man?
Hello, I'm recording from Russia, and it's 6 a.m. right now. As usual, I'm recording at night because everyone is from America. It's alright.
It's okay. I'm saluting you. I know you can't see me because you're on the other side of the world, but it's happening. And we also have our always loyal, always awesome Moz on the pod. How you doing today, fam?
Hey, what's up? Now that I'm not hosting this episode, I can be a little more disrespectful.
Yeah, just try me, Moz.
Yeah.
Me and all of KyoAni is gonna wreck your shit. You know it.
Oh, no. Also, check out my podcast. It's called Violet Everweekly on the All Right My Podcast.
What? No way. I had no idea you had an Evergarden podcast. Every week. All right.
Every week.
Every week it's Violet Evergarden. And this week for our guest we have Tara Waterbender. Woo! How's it going, man?
Hello everyone. I'm doing all right so far. Just procrastinating by talking about anime.
What better way is there to procrastinate than talk about anime?
Relatable.
Exactly.
Hey, I need to download the new Procrastinators episode. Thank you.
Oh, hey, I got you, fam. This is what we're here for. We're actually not here to talk about anime. We're just here to remind Moss of the things he needs to do on a daily basis.
Exactly.
So, anime, kind of crazy. You know who else does crazy shit? Trigger. And this season, Trigger is teaming up with A1 Pictures to give us a show that we're all watching with very high interest, an all-original anime called Darling in the Franxx. And here we see Trigger, along with A1 Pictures, diving a little back into Trigger's origins through mecha anime. And it's been a pretty wild ride so far. We just had episode 3 debut yesterday. And how about we start with Moz? What are your first impressions of this show so far?
So Darling in the Franxx... Hang on. I thought someone was on my door. Forgive me. In any case,
it was
Darling
just the darling at your door.
Exactly. So this is like an interesting show. There are lots of things to like about it and also lots of things to not like about it. I thought the first episode was pretty cool. It presented a really interesting world with a lot of things going on. You know, I'm not sure if it's like a post-apocalyptic setting or not, but it definitely seems like they're in some sort of wasteland, and society is like highly governed and organized, and the robots in this, the robots all have these womanly design. They all got titties, so that's cool. And then you got a guy and a girl who each pilot each mech, which is called a FranXX. And the girl gets into a missionary position while
Is it missionary or is it doggy?
It's something like.
We gotta be particular about our positioning here.
It is very important, and the controls are on her ass, and the guy controls it, and it's really weird. I'm kind of on the fence about this show. Like, again, it's cool, but at the same time, I feel like it's a little too straightforward with it. It's like too straight-faced. Like, the idea of all these, like the way the FranXX are piloted, like, that's hilarious in theory, but they just kind of present it like it is, and it's like, okay. I don't know. It just gives a different impression, like an overly serious impression, and not it. You kind of see that with like with Kill la Kill, they that of course has all this absurd imagery to it as well, but it worked for that show because it's presented in this super over the top way that's like super hype. It's like whoever made that show thought it was the best idea ever, and they wanted you to agree, and they were right. It was the best idea ever. This one is just like this one is just like yeah, she gets into the missionary position. Yeah,
Doggy, it's doggy.
and
Anything else you want to add besides correcting the sex positions that these pilots are taking?
I'm just saying, it's important to make sure you say the right position, else you'll confuse people.
I apologize.
You don't want to confuse the youngins of our anime.
This is true.
Or
this
else
might
you'll
be their
embarrass
only
them.
foray into these positions.
This podcast might not be safe for work.
No.
Hey, we should not forget that we're also educational podcast.
Yes.
Very
No.
educational.
All right.
Mhm.
I'm kind of with Maz here. It's just I'm on the fence about it. There's a lot of stuff that I like, but there's a lot of stuff that's kind of the examples he brought up with the way they pilot the mechs and the excessive amounts of sexual metaphors going about in the show. Hey, do you know about the pistol and stamen, anyone? And then the couples required to go pilot the mech, and of course it's boy and girl, and it just so happens that the girl is in that position. I don't need to say the position, but it's just weird. I don't know. I haven't watched Kill la Kill, so I'm not used to triggers over the top kind of antics here. So it's certainly an interesting show. Probably the only thing I can really get so far is that it gives me a romantic drama vibe.
Oh, with Ichigo and Hiro so far?
Yeah, like the way the first show I think of is A1 no, not A1, Trigger's other work, Kisniver.
Oh, Kisniver, right.
Yeah, Kisniver. It basically reminds me of Kisniver, except that instead of making it like a pure romantic drama, it's a romantic drama featuring mechs and sexual positions.
It's something. Yeah, I do want to clarify, like, while Trigger definitely does have a hand in it, I it's hard to say how much of a hand they have and how much of a hand A1 Pictures is. At first glance, it looks like the staff does lean a little more heavily A1 Pictures, but there's definitely a huge amount of Trigger influence. Cav, do you have any thoughts on that aspect of it, or in general about the show?
In general, just kind of curious, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting in how it approaches things, like sexuality and stuff. We'll see how it goes. It kind of reminds me of previous works of Gainax and Trigger, Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill.
Yeah. I remember that in the thread someone talked about that it was A1 and Trigger, but it was like a ton of former Gainax staff.
Yes.
To call it A1 or Trigger is kind of disingenuous.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's. I feel like how much Gurren Lagann was about drills
Mm-hmm.
and Kill la Kill was about clothes. I also feel like Darling Fra will be about kissing
Mm-hmm.
and like sexuality because apparently this concept doesn't exist in the world or like unknown to kids because it's like what is kissing? What is this
Right.
shit? Like they have to discover it all over again, and it seems like only the 02 knows about it. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, I guess. Um, but what I dislike about the series strongly so far is once again what Moss has said that it's too straightforward about things. Like dialogues are pretty meh, and the imagery is kind of lacking. And I also strongly dislike the main character because he's so bland and boring. Like he got all the cliche going for him, like in the first episode. Suddenly he met a beautiful girl like in the lake and she's naked and he's embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly he's chosen because he's the only one who can ride that FranXX and yeah, and he's darling. He got a girl for him. Whoa, and he's like no personality, no charisma whatsoever. So we'll see. Maybe he develops later. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I will be the first to say that like I love this. I actually like abbreviating this group as like GA1 Next. This guy next group because actually me and my roommate just over the past couple of months have gone through like a whole like guy next slash trigger watch, and I think that's been really helpful to me. So like I love Trigger and I love this group, and like Die Buster, Gurren Lagann, and Kill la Kill are all up there in my favorites. And this definitely has a lot of a Die Buster feel to it to me. A lot of the anthropomorphized robots that almost seem to have their own sort of personality. A lot of the shots, in particular, seem to call back to like Evangelion and Gurren Lagann as well. Especially, there's this one scene where they're looking at the night sky, and it kind of reminds me of the geosphere in Evangelion when they're down there. With the whole like kind of like this Tetrisy like helix sphere that they have that they call plantations. And I am, as Cav said, very interested to see how they play up the whole aspect of kissing and of sexuality because, like, as we've mentioned, like they're in very like sexual positions, but yet they don't even know the concept of kissing. So like a lot of that romance is detached from it. So I mean, I'm holding out hope. I'm not willing to like discount it yet, especially the main character. Like Simon, I think after the first 3 episodes, I definitely would have thought he's just like your typical kind of just like
Yeah,
main
yeah.
character who's just in like a generic show who has everything handed to. But of course, like throughout the course of a 2 cour show, he develops and he changes and he grows. And this also has already been confirmed for 2 cours. So I'm willing to be a little bit more lenient to see how Darling in the Franxx ends up. But yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. The only thing I'm disappointed by is well, one of the things I'm most disappointed by is like Die Buster and Fully Cooley and Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill all had these like very iconic OPs. And even Kids Naiver, like Lay Your Hands on Me, by the Boom Boom Satellites or whatever. That was an awesome OP, but like this has been a very lackluster OP for me.
Yeah, it is mediocre.
I kind of like it, but I have no strong feelings towards it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's
I
like
have the same opinion as Cav.
it's nice, but it's not. I don't see it becoming iconic the way like Sora Hero Days is.
Well, maybe we'll get second opening in the second course. So
This is true. Always leave that open, especially knowing that A1 Pictures is an affiliate or like a branch of Sony Music Entertainment. So like they definitely have access to like really good musical guests and artists.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
one thing.
Mhm.
One thing
ahead.
I just wanted to add before we move on is that Zero Two is one of the strongest characters of the whole season.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To the point where I think she is like completely stealing the show, and it's like I enjoy the show a lot differently when she's on screen, and then when she's not, I'm just like I want to die.
No, I definitely feel you on that too. I love 02. I love like all the Gainax like callbacks that are like associated with her from like 02, like so I'm guessing a callback to Asuka's Evangelion, Eva suit, Unit 02. And then she has like the pink hair like Nono has in Diebuster. I'm like 90% sure that at some point her pink hair is gonna turn red. That's just me. For any of you who've seen Diebuster. And like Gainax just loves having redheaded like main pilots for some reason. Just a recurring trend.
Yeah.
And then she even has like the horns things also feels like a callback to how Asuka always had her like clips in her hair from her plug suit throughout the show. So it's a lot to unpack, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, hopefully Trigger can save anime once again with Darling in the Franxx. But if they don't do it, there's definitely another anime this season that is trying to take up the mantle to save anime, and that is with Pop Team Epic.
Okay, I just want to say something. I just like decided to pop up the show prior to this podcast. I watched 3 minutes, and within those 3 minutes, I'm just, what the fuck is happening in this show? What is this?
I think that's it. I think that's all we need to say about Pop Team
I
Epic.
am really glad that you did that because you perfectly encapsulated what Pop Team Epic is.
Yes.
How does one describe Pop Team Epic?
It's I would say it's a perfect shitpost.
Yeah, it is literally shitposting the anime.
Shitposting the anime, yeah, and I feel like people are diminishing the value of it because it perfectly captures the internet influence and the internet these days in general. Like it just shitposting in anime form. Really, it's animes that we deserve for our shitpost, basically. It just brought to all another level of posting, of I don't know, execution and stuff. So it's really what we deserve in anime form for our shitposting.
Yeah, we really do. It's not the anime we need, but it's the anime we deserve.
Yeah, basically that. Yeah, it just captures the essence of internet so perfectly. Like 4chan or Reddit or stuff like all the shit posting and stuff. It's like so random, so meaningless and stuff. I don't know, but it's just so funny at times. So yeah, I don't know.
At first, I thought I was going into something that was similar to TQ, which I don't know if you guys have seen, but it's like 2 minutes of like girls playing tennis on crack. It's a thing. It's an anime.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But Pop Team Epic is like to another level, and like you can't even say like they're doing a terrible job. Like it's not like Inferno Cop, right, where you can clearly tell they had like a $15 budget for the entire season. Like some of the scenes look really good and like really well animated. They're very fluid.
Yeah, and they've got good voice actors as well, so
yeah, they do have very good voice actors for it. And I love the opening like rom-com anime bit they did, like because we always make fun of like the generic like anime with like this guy who has like a girl like move in and like the harem rom-com trope, and they just took it to another level by just saying like, okay, this is not going to be like all those other generic anime.
By the way, speaking of voice cast, I just posted in Discord, this is the voice cast for the two main characters after 3 episodes.
Yeah.
The fuck is it?
Or four episodes, sorry.
Oh my
they
gosh.
change voice actors every episode.
Yes.
Basically, yes.
Yes. Yeah, no, and it's great. They've had guys voicing these people, and you've had like some really big names here too. Like Aoi Yuki has voiced one of Papuko. Yoko Hikasa, who's most known for doing Mio and K-On!, has voiced them. You've got Chris Sabat, who's been doing, I'm guessing, in the dub. And then you have like Sato Satomi, who's most known, I believe, for doing Rin and Chitanda. So Ritsu in K-On! And Chitanda in Hyoka. And like So,
Those
like,
are voiced by the same people?
they're getting these random people to do like half off episodes, and it's absolutely nuts and crazy. And like the references are crazy. The Your Name reference they did in the first episode like killed me.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
one of the
yeah,
stronger jokes.
Also, one of the strongest aspects of Pop Team Epic is that you do not know what comes next at all. Like in anime, if you've seen a lot, you kind of expect what comes next. You're not that surprised, but it's kind of alright. But in Pop Team Epic, it keeps you in the dark all the time, and then it changes voice actors, style, everything in the next episode, in the next minute, and you're like, what the fuck? And it's cool.
Yeah, like it goes from like standard animation to like they do like the felt dolls that they like do like stop motion with every once in a while. And then they go to like Bob Team Epic, which is like the stuff of nightmares.
Me.
Oh no.
Yeah, I want to comment on that. Like you said, it has all these like it looks really good at times. This is like as much as I want to meme about this show, this is like a really interesting collection of talent in this show. Like the studio listed for this is Kamikaze Doga, but each individual skit is bookmarked by a little eye catch, and it has a credit below it. It says saying bye, and only a few of them are actually credited to Kamikaze Doga. Every other skit is credited to someone else or some other group. I don't know anything about these people, but therefore you get all these weird different styles, and just it's really interesting to watch it all happen. Like as strange as like Bob Team Epic is, it's also like just the way it looks. It's just like it's just so out there that it's like you can't ignore it. You can't get that out of your head.
Right. Yeah, no. It kind of reminds me of Robot Chicken from the Adult Swim days.
Yeah, definitely.
It's nuts. It's crazy. And my mind's gonna explode if we talk too much about this, I think. Because just watching it for like 12 minutes a week is already too much. So let's tone it back, let's turn it down, let's go to something.
Just one thing.
One
thing about Pop Team Epic is the best joke about Pop Team Epic is that it has the best OP of the season. Unironically, the best OP of the season.
It has a very good OP.
Yeah.
This is
and like the
studio that made the Kamikaze Doga is the studio that made the JoJo OPs before Part 4, which are also particularly known for being super strong. So these guys are like really, really good at making anime OPs, and they just destroyed everyone this season.
I was also gonna say, like, the insert songs they do, like the fake OP they did for the Idol like rom-com harem show was also very catchy.
It looked like a legitimate anime.
Yeah, I remember like Shaw telling me to watch Pop Team Epic that was like full of memes, and I turned it on. I'm like, like this is just like your standard generic like anime idol harem rom-com show with a really good OP.
Yeah. I like this. When I started this was the first time I used High Dive, the new anime streaming service. And
right.
I legitimately, like, I'd never used this thing before. I didn't know how it worked. I thought they just loaded the wrong show. I'm like, what the fuck? How did they do that?
Honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised either if that was their intention, but it's crazy, man. I'm excited. Like, that's like one of the shows where I'm like, wait a second, did we just get a new episode? I need to see this immediately.
So what we can take out of it is that you need to have some effort and put some effort in making a shitpost great.
No low effort shitposts here. We only get high effort shitposts.
I mean,
here.
they could have just paid for a 24-minute TV slot, but a 12-minute TV slot because that's all they needed. But no, they instead decided to make a full-length show and just play it twice. Because fuck all of you.
At first, I thought that was just Crunchyroll like being dumb for me, but no, they literally played.
Wait, that's the actual format of the show.
They literally play
Basically, yes.
I mean, there are some differences in the second half.
Are there really?
A little bit. A few. They're like minor, but still.
I had no idea. That's hilarious.
like in episode 2, they had different voice actors in the studio for that one gag.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where they that was like, shut up, mob character. Your face isn't even drawn in.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh man,
I really should watch this show now.
Taryn, you need to watch. It's
experience.
It is an experience.
It's memorific. It's an experience.
So I will be glad to be one with this experience.
I'm glad you'll be one with that experience too, and I'll be glad that we can move on.
Yeah, I'm done
as
now.
much as I love Pop Team Epic.
Okay.
But I really enjoy Hakumei to Mikochi, or Hakumei and Mikochi, airing this season by Studio Lerche. And Taryn, since you have seen this one, anything you want to talk about with this show in particular?
Why are not enough people watching this show?
Preach.
It's one of the, a lot of people are praising Yuru Camp and Beyond the Universe for being like one of the better slice of lives. I'm surprised no one has seen, like, the threads are barren basically. And I'm going in, walking in, and it's just, this is the same studio that did things like Assassination Classroom, Kuzu no Honkai, and the director, he did stuff like White Album 2 and Kuzu no Honkai. Well, I already said Kuzu no Honkai. But it's just nice. It's nice. It's a very nice, quaint show.
Nice.
It's a very relaxing show. I personally put in the same realm as kind of like Arya. Well, what's that thing called? Iyashike?
Oh,
Iyashike. I kind of qualified it as that. It's just something that you could just pop in and just sit back and just watch two short characters just go about their daily lives.
Well, I could say why I'm not watching it is because there are so many cute girls doing cute things anime this season.
There was that one anime.
Got a cut.
There's that Ameagari article about like how they unexpectedly released all the decent cute cute anime in one season.
Yeah.
And it's kind of true. But no, yeah, and it's funny you bring up how like comforting and like soft and like healing it is. It's written, the series composition was written by Reiko Yoshida, who's most well known for doing the series composition for things like K-On! And Tamako Market and stuff like that. So like she definitely has a handle on how to write and flesh out these characters, and it looks gorgeous too. Like the setting is really cool because like it's such an interesting premise, right? It's like these tiny people living in a forest going about their daily lives, but it manages to be very, very sweet, very nice. What about you, Malice? What are you thinking about this?
Here's my unpopular opinion. I dropped this show.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Okay.
All right, Cal, we're gonna have to drop you from the pod.
I'm gonna pick you. I'm gonna be the new guy now.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the thing about this. I did not hate this show at all. I didn't even dislike it. My problem is that I just didn't really connect with it. I didn't really care about it. My problem with this is that it has a very interesting world. The characters are okay. I actually really like this setting. It's like, I mean, it's just a normal setting, but all the characters like super tiny. So you have just ordinary bugs, like a beetle that's like giant compared to them. That's really cool. My question is, what is the point of this show? Like, what are they going for here? Because so far, it's just these two characters, and they just kind of do stuff, and that's about it. Unless I like hear that this actually has like some clear point or plot or whatever, I might be willing to pick it back up. Again, I did not dislike this at all. It's just, I don't know. When I'm watching like 15 shows a season, am I going to, like, how much tolerance do I have for a show that I have like no opinion of whatsoever?
That's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah, I think his point about how there's like no point is valid to a degree, because when you're trying to describe this show, like what's the end goal, you can't really describe the end goal. I kind of think of it like Girls Last Tour, where you're just kind of along for the ride.
Well, even in Girls Last Tour, they had like an end goal, right? They were like, oh, let's keep going.
I guess
right?
so.
And survive. And dab on these haters.
Dab.
Yeah. So I feel like this show, you either you really get it and you're in the right audience for this, or you're like me who's just looking for something a little more and it's just not working.
Right. And that's fair. Like, I don't think this is one of those shows where you're like, oh, like everyone has to watch it. It's like, it's a very good show for the people it connects with.
Yeah.
So
I can't contend that it is underwatched.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, that's true.
It is solid.
That's That's very true. Very, very true. And there's after that there's another kind of show that not quite underwatched and not quite without an opinion or an end goal, but it is very lovely, and it honestly, like, it has my favorite ED of the season, and that is Koi wa Ameagari, or Love is Like After the Rain. And this show by Wit Studio is just really sinking its teeth into me.
It's gorgeous. I mean, we finally got a proof that all the seasons of Attack on Titan were here to fund this season of After the Rain,
Right.
basically.
Worth it.
This show died.
It's-
Attack on Titan died for this.
Yeah. I'll take it, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, Wit Studios always had gorgeous anime. I mean, even Rolling Girls, which not a lot of people saw, cry. But even that was like very gorgeous with the Blu-rays. Initially, they did have some budget issues and timing issues, but eventually it did look very good. But Koi wa Ameagari has just been absolutely beautiful. Just like the effects with the rain have been great. The music has been so good. The subject matter is a little iffy, I will say.
Yeah, interestingly enough, in the anime community, age gap is probably the biggest taboo out there.
Yeah.
It's one of the bigger ones, at least. Like even NTR, at least there's a bit of an audience of people, but like in this age gap, like there are some like very, like there's still a little bit of like, oh, there's a little bit of negative connotation still there.
Yeah,
I
I bet that's why many people didn't pick it up initially.
Oh, well, I can tell you that's why I dropped it.
Oh, whoa, Mozilla. Debbie Downer
Sad.
twice in a row.
Two
doubling
in a
down.
row. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I'm not against the... I don't really have much of an opinion on age gap except for that one. This one is, like, really excessive. Like, the main girl is, like, 16 or something. She's still in high school. And they specifically said that the guy, this manager at this diner that she works at, that she likes, is 45. That is insane, dude.
With a kid,
That's an
yeah.
age gap.
Like, if this guy was close to 30, I would be like, okay, I guess that's not a
Like
huge...
mid-20s.
Sure.
Would be,
like, okay, that's
like that would be the extent, right?
that's like 10 plus years, but you know what? I can kind of see that. But 45, wow, that's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
I mean, for Akira too. Sorry.
God.
Oh man, sorry.
All right.
sorry. But-
Yeah. So far, the anime is really carried by its presentation. Like, it's so gorgeous, so beautiful, so nice to look at. It has some great direction with all the shots of
Oh, the
Akira's eyes.
shot composition is beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, it's so just fun to watch. Like, the comedy is nice.
The comedy is kind of nice.
The romance is here. We'll see how it goes.
I
don't
like the
know.
guy. Like, the guy doesn't seem like he's going to be the kind of guy who's like okay with this romance. Like, I'm going to give him the benefit of the
To
doubt.
be fair, I think you're absolutely right. He doesn't seem too into this girl. Very
Yeah. I
I
one-sided
think he sees her
love.
as like almost like a pseudo daughter. Like, even in the first episode,
Yeah.
like there's a guy who like the one guy who like keeps trying to get like Akira, the main girl's address and like contact information, and he sees him and he's like, oh, maybe that's her boyfriend, or like, oh, like let's help this out kind of a deal, right? So, and like it's weird, right? Because like I had a huge problem with the hinted age gap romance in a show from last year called Amama to Inozuma, or Sweetness and Lightning.
Oh
That
yeah.
had, like a similar private. Yeah, that was very not okay. But like Garden of Words with that age difference, I actually felt like kind of okay with, because it felt different from a romantic love, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
it's...
and opening ending are great. Both of them. I like this show a lot. It's probably my favorite of the season so far.
Really, that's great.
Wow.
It's good to hear. I mean, it's such a comfy, beautiful show. How many times can we say beautiful with regards to this show, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And then the ED by Aimer, like as soon as I heard like the first 5 words she's saying, I was like, okay, this is Aimer. This is gonna be a really good ED.
Do I have any notes about
It's been
the
great,
ED?
and like
I'm looking for notes. I probably wrote something about them.
Oh shoot, Mo actually like wrote down notes for this.
I just typed out like 2 pages or 3 pages of notes, and then I hear Mozilla just handwriting, just looking through, and I'm going, oh,
He's got like a whole stack. He actually wrote like has an encyclopedia he's been compiling of all the airing anime he's watched.
I'm just experimenting with note taking right now, and I'm like already halfway through this notebook, and it's been 4 weeks into the season.
Oh jeez, that's really cool though. That's a cool thing.
Yeah, I don't have. I don't actually have any notes about this. I will say though,
Bamboozled.
It's a lie.
The problem I have with this more so than the age gap is just that it's also just not my wheelhouse, which is like very realistic characters doing realistic things in a realistic environment. It's all just like a story that could easily happen in real life, basically. Like, I don't know. I could just see this as a live action drama.
Oh yeah. It does have.
If only they all went to Antarctica, man. If only.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. You get it.
Well, hopefully the next show we're going to talk about is a little bit more in your wheelhouse, which is the show called Beatless.
no.
It's not.
Which apparently Taryn has some strong feelings about.
This is by hold up. I need to figure out, Moss, what's your opinion on it?
I'm interested in it enough to continue watching it, but it sucks.
I don't expect a whole lot from this show.
I wasn't expecting a whole lot either. The poster for this looks very much like knockoff Guilty Crown, which is what a lot of people expected because it's the same character designer. And
interesting.
And Diomedia just usually does really shit jobs with their anime. I don't know what it is about this studio, but they usually put out like really mediocre shit.
Mayoiga comes to mind. Oh, the threads were something. The threads were something else. The anime was an entirely different matter. Oh, Dio Media. Yeah, it's I was like, I hear like at first, honestly, I read this as the Beatles, so I thought it was like going to be
Beatles.
I thought it was gonna be like a K-On version of the Beatles, right? So like you have all these.
That is exactly what Beatless is. How'd you know? You haven't even seen this.
I know. And then I saw the studio, and I was like, do I trust this studio?
Well, TBH, the director of it is Seiji Mizushima, who directed Full Metal Alchemist from 03, so the original one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so there is some kind of hope for it, and it's also based on a complete light novel, so it will have ending, unlike many other light novels. Mm-hmm. So we'll see where it goes. I did not pick it up because it sucks. Probably.
There you go.
Probably.
But how do you know it sucks without picking it up?
Just looking at the poster, no.
Yeah, that's true. At a certain point, we just know.
I just want to bring up a good point that this is a 2-core show, interestingly enough. Since the novels are complete, this should be a complete adaptation. There are 14 novels.
14 novels in 24 episodes. That'll be good.
No problem.
We should expect something. We should expect this to be complete. Not like it will make it any better, but you should expect a complete
adaptation. Fate Apocrypha was a complete adaptation, and honestly, I don't know if I don't want it to be that way.
I'll be praying for you guys to finish it.
No, but like I like the jokes aside though. Okay, actually, it's not a joke. It's actually not that good. But I feel that the show reminds me of a show from last year called Clockwork Planet.
Oh God, yes. I was going to mention that, and I didn't want to. Thank you.
You got the futuristic world, and then you've got this insanely super powerful female humanoid who's like not really human, but she's kind of human in a way. And then, except Clockwork Planet's MC actually was interesting, and he was actually into his robot wife.
Yeah, he admitted to it. He'd fuck his robot.
Yeah, he was all up for it. I'm not gonna kink shame. He liked it. but the MC in Beatless is just kind of like it's just boring. He feels like every other light novel. He's like he has ideals, but he doesn't have any strength.
Oh no, not ideals. Please, not the ideals.
He's like these robots have a soul. So I'm gonna do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and I'm like that's good, but there's really nothing else there is to your character.
Oh,
and the show, the thing that's going to separate the show from being pure garbage and passable is if they have the MC experience any sort of development over the course of the series.
Yeah.
Well, there's
the like the main character is like he's always like he's got like this perfect robot waifu who's like always trying to take care of him, and he's always just like, oh, I'm so easy, I won't let her do that. Like, yeah, you've got a real fucking problem, buddy. How unfortunate for you that you've got like the hottest robot of all the robots, and she just wants to take care of you and wants to protect you. Oh, boo-hoo. And I'm also looking forward to the ending of this show because I have no idea where the fuck it's going. Right. Episode 2 was a fashion episode.
Yeah, you gotta get that fashion episode, you know, after saving his life, you gotta go directly to Slice of Life and get a fashion show going, being a top model. Oh, and don't forget the analog hacking.
Sexually analog hack me, dude.
A lot of people were upset at it, and I kind of see why. It's pretty much some bullshit science, like bullshit random like terms you make up to make it sound very complicated, but it's not nothing really special. Yeah. It's social engineering. It's basically social engineering, it is
social engineering. The robots like influence your mind a little bit. It has a lot of really interesting ideas, which is why I'm still watching this show. That's why I haven't dropped it, but it just applies them in the weirdest ways.
Mm-hmm. That's something. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad that I didn't pick it up, but now I kind of want to. Which is kind of like
same.
Yeah. Yeah, which is so I actually went into this next show thinking it was going to be hot garbage, but I don't want to say pleasantly surprised. I've been surprised. I have been neutrally surprised by Citrus this season, which is everyone's favorite trash yuri romance anime from Passion. I don't know. I can't speak not English.
At least
Passion. Thank you. The everyone else can just correct me on that. But yeah, it's a show. So, well, Maz, what are your thoughts on this one then?
This one I had no expectations for. I kind of expected it to be kind of lame, but like, hey, dude, it's got Yuri, so best show ever, right? And yeah, it does have Yuri in it. That's a fact.
It's very true.
I don't know. I'm also on the fence. I'm on the fence with this show as well. Like, I don't hate it or anything, but I'm also on the verge of dropping it because it's just kind of dumb. A lot of it. Sometimes it has fun with itself, like the main character going up to her like adoptive grandfather or something who's also like the headmaster of the school. It's like, yo, dude, what's going on? And he's just like, what the fuck? It's kind of fun sometimes, but I don't know. Yeah, I feel like the Yuri is like the main draw of it. And even then, I don't like the character designs at all. I don't think they're attractive. They got weird eyes and really sharp facial features. It's just, they don't look good to me.
The hair is weird too, like drills.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's something. It's, kind of reminds me of like a soap opera or like a telenovela. With just like how over the top dramatic it is with everything. It's a show. I don't know.
Taryn, what are your thoughts on this? I put the show on hold.
It says 4 episodes.
I put it on hold actually after the second episode. So I felt I have to be honest. I felt like I'm not giving the show a fair chance because I'm just looking forward to the raunchy Yuri.
Oh man.
And I thought that is I'm like, that's a disservice to the show. I'll wait till I'm more prepared mentally to watch.
That's fair. You know what? I'm not gonna. I don't even know what to say, man.
In all honesty, it's just one of those. I don't know. I'm not really. It's just not my thing. I'm just gonna say it's not my thing.
Well, that's fair. Well, hopefully, the next show that you're also watching is your thing, Death March Kara Hajimaru Isekai Kyousoukyoku.
Good joke.
No, can we go back to Citrus? Okay, we can talk about Citrus.
Just ignore that next one.
No, this is on the list of shows we have to talk about. You guys
We have to. I'm the guest. Can we adjust the rules?
Do we have to?
All right,
Screw the rules. We have money.
let me tell you about Death March. I had a bit of a bias against this because when ReZero was airing, that's a show that gets so big that some people just want to know, like, what's going to be the next one? What's going to be the next big one? Like, what's going to be the next isekai to blow up like ReZero did? What's going to be the next big isekai? That was all the rage at the time. And everyone was pointing to Death March. That's going to be the next big one. But all of the discussion towards it kind of seemed that it wasn't actually very well liked. It was just popular. So I'm thinking, like, okay, I guess it's going to be kind of like the new SAO, where it's popular, a lot of people will watch it, and maybe a lot of people will like it, but it's not going to be very good for a lot of critics. And so going into the anime, knowing all this, I wasn't expecting much. I wasn't expecting literally one of the worst first episodes I've ever seen. Ever.
Yeah, so you're saying you expected the new cell, but you got instead the new in another world with my smartphone, right?
At least smartphone was like, at least it had some charm to it. Like, this is even worse than smartphone.
Wait, but what about compared to Handshakers?
Well, Handshakers is a masterpiece, actually, and I love that show. Death March is like the most boring shit okay, first of all, I didn't actually finish the first episode, because by the time the first 10 minutes of the first episode is just the main character going to work. He's just an ordinary guy. He's like in his late 20s. He works as a programmer for a video game company. He's like good at his job. He has to cover for a lot of people and all. He's overworked. It's like, okay, I get all of that. But it goes on for like 10 fucking minutes. It's just him going to work, working his boring job. He's like, oh, it's time to start the Death March today. He says it like 4 times and it drove me fucking crazy. It's a stupid line. And it just goes on and fucking on. And then finally he goes to the isekai, the other world. This is done by him falling asleep, and he's just there. I don't know.
At least it's not Truck-kun.
Truck-kun
I
did
was
well.
expecting Truck-kun, because it's like, okay, well, whatever. But no, he just falls asleep, then he's in the other world, he gets attacked by these, like, monsters or these guards or whatever, and then a giant meteor rain comes down from nowhere, wipes them all out, and now he looks at he looked at his stats before the fight. He was level 1 and everything in this game. Now he looks at it, he's level 310, and all of his stats are maxed out.
Oh, actually, yeah. He had like this. Apparently, like this is supposed to relate to the game where the meteor shower was like a cheat help out thing for newbies, and then he kind of just spammed the thing, and he got a bunch of level ups because he killed a ton of stuff.
He got 309 level ups by killing one mob.
Well,
Wow.
technically, it wasn't one mob. It was just a ton of. Actually, apparently, there's a lot of stuff that wasn't translated. Wait, who's subbing this again?
Crunchyroll.
Apparently, Crunchyroll missed some of the subs, like their little like in-game little notifications, and Crunchyroll didn't sub those, but they also actually kind of gave you an idea of what just happened.
Okay, then I'll give it I'll give it a slight pass for this show being confusing, but even still, all of it was just really boring. And by the time the main character just like went through each of his skills individually, I'm like, I don't fucking care anymore, and I just bailed.
Well, I actually didn't bail on the show, so I'm caught up. I'm 3 episodes in. I don't even remember the episode count. That's how boring it is for me. But it's like, okay, like Isekai is a very overdone genre right now. Yes, like if you go on like the manga subreddit, there was a point which literally there was like 8 or 9 posts in a row of all Isekai, and it's very interesting trying to read some of them and how they try to be unique. And this one, it's not really like it's based on what the source readers have told me is that this isn't going to be like some kind of super serious show. It's gonna be a very more slice of life take.
I have heard that, yeah.
I'm not sure how far the show's gonna go with it, but I feel like in theory this show could have been all right, but it just like the things like the production, the way they do the transitions, it just feels so unengaging for me, and the writing just it purposely puts itself back into the same tropes that other isekai have done. Like a 30-year-old coming down to a 30-year-old programmer coming down. Hey, that's something unique. But they deliberately went out of the way to go, we're gonna change him to a 15-year-old. And I'm just like, really?
Wonderful.
That is
Just
Can I,
going right back to what a lot of other isekai are. And I feel like if they just stuck to a 30-year-old him, or just hell, even 20, it might have made my experience a little bit better. But they went all the way to lower his age and his voice. I was thinking about his voice is god awful. I can't stand his voice.
Is it as
I
bad
didn't
as
even think
Asta in Black
I mean, like with
Not that
Asta, his voice is more annoying because he's screaming all the time. This guy, he just sounds annoying, period.
Unfortunately.
Can I just read my notes real quick?
Yes.
Just the bottom half of my
Yes.
notes. Okay. Stop saying Death March. Fucking boring. What the fuck? That's the gayest isekai transition ever. Boring. WTF is happening. Lol the CG. Jesus fuck the animation is trash. Fuck Silverlink. So this guy is Kirito, but shittier. You know what? IDGAF. No time for this shit. Sword Art Online is good.
What a way to end your notes on
What
the
a roller
show.
coaster.
Oh man.
All I'm gonna say is that the only people who will watch the show are those who've already read the source material. As a lot of the a lot of the thread has already shown like there's a lot of source readers on this, and the only other ones are gonna be those who just like isekai related shows. There's not really a whole lot to talk about for the show thus far.
Right. That makes
Or
sense.
I doubt like it'll have any more to talk about.
Right. Well, while that sounds sad, there's very happy and comfy and overall very pleasant and a little bit of a teasing experience and one of my favorites of the season in Karakai Jouzu no Takagi-san, which is just absolutely so much fun with seeing Takagi just tease the heck out of the main character, and it's just really fun, pleasant experience.
It's kawaii.
It is kawaii.
It is cute, yeah. I like it. Well, I had been reading the manga for like 2 years now, I believe, or something like that.
Oh yeah, you're a big source reader on this.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I loved it.
And Taryn is
Yeah,
too.
the source is so good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Are all three of you manga readers for this?
I read this and the spin-off.
The spin-off is so good.
Anyway,
We can't
okay,
spoil
we're
the
gonna keep
spin-off.
talking about the spin-off.
We can't
That's
spoil
that.
the
We're
I'm
gonna
going
keep
to
talking
talk
spin-off is
about
so
this, but I have heard about this spin-off.
Well, just straight about
spin-off.
just reading the synopsis of the spin-off is kind of like a spoiler in a way.
I have
so-
heard that, so I've avoided it. But
Good.
anyway,
Good,
go on,
good.
Cav.
But
Yeah, it's good. I liked how they're adapting it. I feel like it's a bit too slow on the receiving end, how the jokes develop, how the chapters are adapted. I'm not sure if it's good at its full length as well. Like, there is. Yeah, it could be like. Yeah, the short, like, half of the episodes.
Yeah, a 23-minute
Uh,
really struggles with the pacing. A lot of people actually know
Yeah,
that in
yeah.
discussion threads. Like I
Yeah.
think what was it? Episode 3? They started doing they inserted like a little original.
yeah.
Like
With
that,
the
that-
friends.
yeah, people like that actually. And I thought that's
Uh-huh.
a good pad out, but I still think that this show would have served better as a short.
Kind of reminds me of Tonari no Seki-kun or like My Neighbor Seki-kun or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the same
That-
studio.
Yeah,
Same studio
yeah,
as well.
Yep. And then Shine Animation, and then they did that as a half-length episode, if I remember correctly. And I thought that made the pacing a lot better for that.
Mhm.
But I mean, like, I just adore this anime and this manga, especially. Like, whenever I know like the manga has a new chapter, I'm like immediately gushing over it. It's so much fun. So, Maz, as someone who isn't reading the manga, what are your thoughts on the anime so far?
Well, I did go into this with pretty high expectations because manga readers did hype this up quite a bit, and and I'm liking it.
Yes,
I think it's a lot of fun.
Oh,
guys, the source readers did a good thing for once.
Yeah, it's really cute. It's a lot of fun. It's very repetitive, very formulaic so far. It's just Nishikata, I think that's his name, is trying to get back at Takagi-san, and of course Takagi-san not only uses his own prank against him, well, actually that is what it is. Not only does this Nishikata's prank not work, but then Takagi will use it against him and just put him further below. That's a lot of fun, and I think it's really endearing because there's no drama to this. Basically, there's not a lot of consequence to this anime. Like, everything that these two do to each other, it's just very trivial and small. Like, at worst, Nishikata gets in trouble from his teacher. Could you imagine this if it was like Takagi like actually bullying this kid and he like runs off crying at the end of the day? This would be the worst show of the season. I would
so
fucking
sad.
hate it. It would be horrible.
You can watch Sangatsu for that.
Hey. But no, it's just a fun little endearing thing. It's just a middle school romance. It's really adorable, and I'm really enjoying it so far. All of the jokes have been, at least most of the jokes have worked. I'm not a fan of the side characters of their little thing. I really hate that eyebrows chick.
Oh gosh, the eyebrow chick.
Yeah,
she's a thing.
I'm not but so far everything else is really good so far. And the other thing is, I kind of wish that each skit would stop. That I hate how each of them starts off with Nishikata being like, "Oh damn that Takagi-san, I'm gonna get her today." It's like, all right, dude, you're gonna just take the fucking L, all right?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
I really it's a good point, right? Because it's like very good-natured teasing, like when like the eraser skit, right? Like one of the very first skits in the first episode. And like he like looks at it and he's like, where they talk about like if you write someone's name on an eraser and you use it all up, like they'll like you. And then like he like sees Takagi-san's eraser and he like looks at it and like it starts off with like L and he's like, oh no, like who is she talking? Like she can't be talking about me. And she's like kind of disappointed and he like reads the whole thing. It's like, look out the door, and like he's like there just teasing him, and he's like, oh, I can't believe you do this, like when are you ever gonna win? And she's like, I don't think you could ever win when you can't even win at a 50-50 chance. And he's like, what? And then like it's hinted that his name was on the other side of the eraser.
Oh, my heart!
That's actually another good point. I like that Takagi's, all of her pranks have like a loophole. Like, it's not like she's just super OP. It's just that Nishikata just overthinks or underthinks everything. Mm-hmm. But I do like that there is like a chance he could win pretty much every time. He just doesn't.
No,
that's really cool.
Yeah. Like they had the throwing can contest, right? Mm-hmm. Where they had to, and she was like, oh, like if you win, like I'll do anything. And like as he's throwing, she's like, oh, like if you get it in, like you can have my first kiss. And like of course, like him being like a really like shy blushing kid, like completely flubs his throw, but like she's not sabotaging him completely. It's just really happy and really cute and really fun. And I love Takagi's voice actress, Ria Takahashi.
She's one of my favorites.
Yes, same here. I love her as a Shielder, Mashu in Fate Grand Order, and she's been really good. I actually really liked her performance as Emilia in ReZero.
She's Megumin.
Explosion. So she's got that like young, youthful, innocent, but like with a bit of teasing voice down pat. So it's perfect. I really like it. Everyone should watch this. There's no reason why you shouldn't watch it. But,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think like the only reason you would not like this show is if you can't really stomach the same gag.
Oh, true.
Because
yeah,
there is like, I think Maz brought up, there is a certain level of repetition to it. But hey, I'm a sucker for stuff like this, so I'll take it. It's good. It's nice.
Yeah, I'll say it's working so far.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep.
So, well, on to the next block of. I guess we're just gonna go down the list of like a lot of the other like comfy shows. So, first one is Ramen Daisuki Koizumi-san, which has like the best jingle that I have heard in a long time about this girl named Koizumi-san who really loves ramen, and they just go around to different ramen shops, and like this one girl just wants to follow her and be her friend, but Koizumi-san only has time for ramen. Yeah, that's the show. I don't know, it's fun. It's gotten me in a mood to really want ramen these days, but I don't know. Tara, what are your thoughts on this?
I didn't finish episode 1.
Wow.
I tried it. I'm just like, why is my name on here? Oh wait, I did try watching it. It's not that I hate it. It's just these kind of shows aren't my cup of tea. I've tried them in the past, and I feel like I'm not enjoying the experience for what it is, and rather just forcing myself into it. It is a 4-koma manga adaptation, so I was expecting some like light gags, but I think when it just comes to cute girls doing cute things, I still have that kind of barrier. I haven't gotten that far down the abyss yet.
Well, some of us were made in that abyss. So I mean, hey, it might not be our cup of ramen, but it's a show, it's a thing. But hey, if you don't like cute girls doing cute things, maybe Yuru Camp Triangle can sate your
Triangle.
That is the correct name for it.
Triangle, yes.
Thank you, Moz, for bringing that to my attention for the proper pronunciation of this show title.
Glad I could help.
Yeah. Well, Taryn, does this show change your opinion on?
I don't want to call this a cute girls doing things show. I don't know.
Is it camping girls doing camping things then?
Wait, what's it called? It's called Laid Back Camp. That's the English. I think I'm gonna remain consistent. It's not that I don't hate this show. I actually think of it pretty like it's a very comfy, nice show. I watch the episode. I'm just like, it's nice.
Uh-huh.
It's not my cup of tea, but I know why people like it. It makes sense why people like it. And I can respect that. It's a very I like how Genki the main character is and how she's super enthusiastic about camping. I like how they integrate camping with the cast's interactions with one another. But in terms of just like pure enjoyment, I'm not like loving it, but I can respect it.
How about you, Kaf? Any thoughts?
Well, I like it. I would say even a lot, yeah. It's just all about execution. It's just so relaxing, laid back, really. The interactions are funny. It's just so easy to watch and stomach, I guess. Characters are nice. I really like the soundtrack so far, and like how it presents itself, like all this camping, the Fuji Mountain, like this Nadeshika eating ramen was such fun experience. Like I also wanted to eat ramen after she ate ramen, really. And the characters themselves are cute. Like they just have some chemistry. There's no drama really into it. It's just easy to watch.
They need to get that fourth member to get a bigger club room, though.
They'll get it. They'll get here. I guess they'll get here.
Yeah, no.
So
it's
I have
fun. Mm-hmm.
I just want to know, why is there a triangle in the title?
It's the shape of a tent.
Oh.
Oh yeah. On the side note, didn't someone say it? But the opening sounds like that. Whatchamacallit?
Oh, I Want You Back by the Jackson 5.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. When I was listening to the OP, I was just like, why does this sound so familiar?
Yeah, no, it's a really catchy tune. I really like it. I thought, at first I thought it was just gonna be the Jackson 5, but then they changed it and it was in Japanese. Although the credits are in English, so maybe it is the Jackson 5. Who knows? Yeah, the voice actresses are really good too. I know Rin is Nao Toyama, who I don't think has done like a kudere, like cool girl before, because she's most known for doing Chitoge and Nisekoi, and Yui Gahama from Oregaru,
yeah.
who are both like very like outgoing, strong personality characters. So she's doing a very good job with that. And it's always nice to hear a former K-On! In Yui voice one of the side characters as the blonde girl there. She was surprisingly not the very Yui-like main character, very Genki character. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been comfy. Makes me kind of want to go camping in the outdoors.
This Nao Toriyama girl, she played a supporting role in my other favorite triangle-based anime, Macross Triangle.
Yeah, you really had to say it. Yes, yeah, I know.
Maz, please tell me you like knew that before like we even talked about this. Like
I
you
did.
just had,
I
like-
legitimately looked it up right now, and I just saw it.
I wanted to believe you had such a connection with Macross Triangle that you just knew everything that is connected with Macross Triangle.
I'll have to actually watch it first.
And know that it's called Macross Delta.
That's preposterous.
It's triangle.
That is a truth further than the universe, one might say. But if you're looking for a place further than the universe, I guess you have to just go to Antarctica, or at least that's what the anime Sora yori mo Tooi Basho.
Wait, hang on. You skipped slow start.
Oh, true. I mean, I'm the only one.
Maybe
watching
it was for a reason.
Slow Start is I mean, it's by A1 Pictures. It looks surprisingly like very fluid at times. But like there's like every girl has like maybe 4 facial expressions, but it looks very fluid. And at first, like I kind of have this rule. It's like a guiding rule where it's like how much fan service is gonna be in the show. And like I can always tell by the skirts of the girls in the OP. I feel like that's a really good indication of how much fan service there's gonna be. And Slow Start has really freaking short skirts. Like, oh my goodness. They do have
short skirts.
They are very short. But like it's been very good. There's been a couple like jokes about the landlady / main character's cousin and how stacked she is. But like outside of that, it's been fairly tame. It's been fun. But
personally, I'm not interested in picking this up. I might watch it when it's over, but I just don't want to watch a weekly show when it has such a slow start.
God.
See, that one didn't land.
No, that...
It just, everyone made this show covers the course of this 4 weeks, really.
Yeah, I'll admit. I'm pretty slow to the draw on that one.
Yeah, no. We are going to have to put you in the place farther than the universe now. But yeah.
So, I have to admit, I really dislike the title of the anime.
Really?
It doesn't make sense to me. What is the place farther than the universe?
It's Antarctica.
How does it make sense?
Kaverick, it's Antarctica. It's in the show. They talk about Antarctica all the time.
It's not farther than the universe.
Maybe the universe is like some town in Australia, okay?
Maybe the universe is Japan, I don't know. Fucking xenophobic people, I don't know.
Maybe it doesn't exist. I don't know.
Oh shoot!
I might have some point
what if
to
they
make.
never go to Antarctica because it's a place further than the universe?
So we just got spoiled, guys.
I'm sorry. They actually land in the Star Wars universe. This is actually episode 9 of Star Wars.
Hey.
Oh.
That works.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess, yeah.
All right. But all that aside, I gotta tell you about this show. Place further than the universe, a story that leads to Antarctica, Sora Yori, Yorimoi, what the fuck ever. I gotta tell you.
Try again.
It's one of those names.
Triangle.
When Shut up, Cav. So when this show started, I heard that this was like cute girls going to Antarctica, and that's interesting. Haven't seen that one before. But I don't know. It seems kind of like a gimmicky idea. So but I don't know. I'll watch it because I don't know anything about Antarctica. So whatever. Teach me things, show. Just show these girls going to Antarctica. That's all I care about. That's all I want to see. So then the first episode started, and they're not in Antarctica. It's about them going to Antarctica in a bit. So I'm like, okay, they're doing a character intro episode. That's fine. It's the first episode. Just do that one episode of character intros, all right? Do not spend 4 episodes on character introductions, all right? I just want to see them going to Antarctica. Do not spend 4 episodes on character intros. So, 4 episodes of character intros later, I really gotta say that this show is fucking awesome! This is the best show of the season by far.
It's so good. It's so good. They're not even in Antarctica yet, and it's so good.
And and oh my god, the character writing in this show is like unbelievable. And like each character has all their own quirks. I mean, of course they do. It's a cute girl show, right? A lot of people have compared this to K-On! You've got the main character who's kind of ditzy. She's not like Yui levels of retarded, but she's kind of getting there.
Yui!
Gotta get in there.
Yui just has some problems, okay?
Yui was very high maintenance. This girl does a little better on her own. There's the leader of the group who's like, she at least tries to be the leader, but she's like she's not like stupid, but she has all these innocent misunderstandings and gets embarrassed really easily.
Oh,
You've
no.
You've got
the side job?
she tells Kimari, that's the main character, to get a job, and then after a day she doesn't. So she's like, "Well, I found one for you. It's got a really good wage, and it's in the hospitality industry, and it's low key a prostitution job."
It's like all you have to do is talk to boys on their way.
It's easy.
Oh boy.
And then you got the Genki girl who's like not exactly like the leader, but she kind of does her own thing. She has her own way of doing things. You've got the shy girl who's like an idol. She's like kind of pampered. You got all that. Like on their own, these characters are super strong. But then when you watch them together, it's just magical. Like this is the best group cast I have seen in a long time, dude. I can just... It no longer matters to me if they go to Antarctica or not. Antarctica could fucking melt. I don't care. All right? I can watch these girls in any show. They can do anything and it will be fun because these are such great characters. They are just amazing together. And it's like, I don't know. I gotta open my nose. Someone else go on. I have so much to say about this show.
I mean, Madhouse does it again, I suppose. They're doing a brilliant job. I mean, it looks gorgeous. It's a lot of fun.
God.
OP, ED are great.
The directing in this show is like unbelievable.
Yes. You talk about like each character has so much nuance to it, and I love like the first like couple opening scenes where like you follow Himari and she's like, "Oh, like I can't let my high school like go like this without any aim," and she's like, "One day I'm just gonna go on a train that goes the opposite way and like go all the way," and like it like smash cuts to her back in school, and they're like, and her best friend's like, "Weren't you going to cut?" And she's like, I couldn't do it. But,
yeah, I got scared.
But like you see her grow from this, and then her friend, the one. You like with her character background, with the whole motivation she has for wanting to go to Antarctica, with the idol who's voiced by the ever amazing Saori Hayami, doing just a brilliant job of showing like what it must feel like to like be a child star and be so away from everyone. I also love the title of the song that she sings, like her single that's called like "I'll Always Follow Back" or something.
Yeah.
It's
Isn't her like, doesn't she have like a group called the Followbacks or something?
Something like that. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a show. It's a group, but it's so much fun and it's so comfortable, and I just really enjoy my time watching this show. Even with a title that, as Cav says, does not really make all that much sense.
Yeah, it just needs more triangles.
A place further than the universe. The place is friendship.
Oh,
it's
shit.
like in our imaginations or something.
Oh god.
I don't know. I was just trying to make some sort of sense about that.
Shirase, the girl, is Kanahana, who's just like killing.
Yeah,
like this whole voice cast is super stacked.
Yeah, huge voice cast in this.
You've got
like
Kanahana,
honestly,
Inori Minase, you've got Yoko Hikasa, you've got Mariko Noto. Like, it's a stacked cast. Like,
seriously, this is a show that gives me the impression that, like I kind of dismissed the idea of this show at first as just being gimmicky. No. Whoever's making this show, this is a group of people that are trying to make a show that will be remembered for a long time. Like, honestly, this might be a masterpiece. Like, I am, like, so in love. I don't get excited for shows this much. It's just unbelievable so far how good every aspect of it is.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, you
one
got
thing-
something to say,
one thing
Cav?
One thing before Cav goes, I just looked this up because I was like, man, this looks really great. I wonder who the director is. The director is Atsuko Ishizuka, who's most famous
Yeah.
for doing No Game No Life and
Sakurazo,
Sakurazo no Pet na Kanajo, and like so, the colors there are. I mean, that's our calling card, right?
Yeah.
It just looks so beautiful. But Cav, say your piece.
Yeah, it's well directed. That's what I want to say. Yeah. I'm not as excited about this show as Moz, but I like it a lot
Understandable.
as well. Yeah.
I'm like quivering
it's-
right now.
I'm kind of interested in the characters in the main cast, because like this Hyper Squad, all girls are Genki to an extent, which is kind of unusual for like your usual cute girl doing cute things anime, where they're like different personalities and stuff, but they're like all hyper, or they're all very outgoing and just it's just so excessively hyper. It's good. I like it a lot, but it's not working for everyone. That's what I would say.
I would just say that they all get like caught up in each other's energy. Basically, like they just have this very I don't know, they just all have this great chemistry together. They just bounce off each other so well. And like one point I wanted to bring up is like what made this show like really stand out for me, like the minute I realized like this is a fucking 10 out of 10 masterpiece right now, is in the third episode where they're trying to recruit the fourth girl. She was the idol girl, and it's like there's a long story about like her being like she like her agent or whatever is trying to make her go to Antarctica for this promotion. She's like, no, I don't want to, but you know, so the deal is like if these three can make her go to Antarctica, they can go too. That's their thing. So they're trying to recruit this fourth girl, and she's like kind of put off, and she's like, I've never had friends like you guys like you guys are all best friends. And then they look at each other, they're like, no, we're not. We've known each other for a month. We're just trying to go to the same place. And I'm like, oh my god, they just invented friendship. They just figured out what it is.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
it's a good moment. Yeah. We'll see where it goes. I like it so far. I just want to see where the show brings them. I'm kind of anxious at how they'll resolve the main drama or the main goal of Shirase going to Antarctica. Which is looking for her mom, missing mom. We'll see. Depending on how the show will handle this issue, I will decide my score and stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I would be actually kind of disappointed if they don't go to Antarctica. I think that would be too much of like a bait and switch, where it's like everything is pointing to them. They will go to Antarctica eventually, but no, it's all about friendship. Okay, well.
Taran, what about you?
Yeah.
You guys pretty much nailed everything. I do want to bring up that I thought the insert song scenes in particular were just magnificent to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like the example when they were doing the chase scene.
Oh, the chase scene in the night.
Like
Oh
the
my
chase scene in the
God.
bar. And for me,
I've
it
seen
just
it so many times.
it just embodied the oh my goodness, this is what youth is all about. Just running around
It's
like
motion.
Yeah, you just feel that emotion. They're just going to with like Mari just going like this is what it means like to be young and youthful, to do something with your life. And it's very captivating. It draws you in. And then the way you see everyone else just running about doing all the hecticness, and then the older girls, they're just trying to put up with their shit. And it was nice.
Oh god, yeah, that scene was so good. And I also love just before then they're trying to like lure someone out so that way they can get in, and it's like they all have their own different ideas.
Trying to seduce them in. Oh man, I mean, if you're not watching the show, you should. Dang, what a season for cute girls doing cute things.
Yeah,
man.
I would say it's more than your average cute girls doing cute things show. It's more than that.
Yeah.
Now it's just straight up adventure. That's it.
Adventure is out there.
Hey,
Hey.
I got that reference.
Thank you. I'm on the up and up with these references.
You are. Right. But
Anyway.
I think I'm done, so I will shut talking now about this show.
No worries.
Shut.
Make Moz happy. That's all we want in life. Watch the show. Let him take more notes on it.
Yes.
But we've been talking a lot about these amazing shows, so we're gonna have to skip over a few. But let's land on a show that I don't think this podcast has ever touched on yet. It's called Violet Evergarden by Kyoto Animation.
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't know about that. Did you guys, did you guys know the light novel won an award? It's a very special light literary award.
You know what we should do? I wish there was there was someone out there who was making a weekly podcast discussing each
Yeah.
episode of Violet Evergarden to have a very in-depth and thorough discussion.
That'd be really cool. You know what would be a good name for that? I think a good title for that would be Violet Everweekly.
Really? That's a good
Yes.
name. Very catchy.
Yeah, so keep your eyes out for that. But, I mean, I don't know what to say that hasn't been said before. I love Violet Evergarden. I saw it at Anime Expo last year, the first episode, and it just floored me. Like, as Taryn said and alluded to, so Kyoto Animation, ever since they opened up their publishing branch, they host a competition for like aspiring young writers to submit light novels to them, and they have like grand prize, first prize, second prize, third prize, honorary award, and they are like very strict about it. So it's not like, oh, like whoever did the best that year gets grand prize. They had like an objective standard, so they're like, we're not just gonna give you like first prize because you were the best that year. If like we think it's an honorable mention, that's what you're gonna get. And so every year that they had done this contest, the best they had ever given was an honorable mention. No one had even gotten like third or second place. And that was like including like free. It was including like Chunibyo Den Koi ga Shitai. And then Violet Evergarden came out and it won the grand prize. So it's coming with very high expectations. I bought the light novel when I was in Kyoto 2 years ago. I can't read it, obviously, but like I was like, I need to have this because it's gonna be so great. And it's been a show that a lot of people have opinions on. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Whoa. What's the conclusion?
Oh gosh, I mean, it's really hard for me to talk about because it's just it's a show I feel so passionate about that I'm just like, I don't even want like anyone to talk to me about the show. I just want to be alone with the show and like Kyoto Animation version of Saber in all of this. Because I really love like post World War II is like usually some of my favorite genre to read, and so like this kind of alludes to that. It's definitely taking place in a post-war era, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
And
supposed to.
it just feels so, I don't know, I just feel very at home in it. I mean, I'm like the biggest Kyoto Animation stan on the planet. I think everyone knows that. But I'm very proud of the fact that this anime is airing and that like we get to see it happening, because we're also seeing like a lot of young talent really succeed in the show, like Haruka Fujita, who's one of the rising stars of Kyoto Animation, who did the very acclaimed episode 8 of Hibike Euphonium. She, I believe, directed, storyboarded, animated, and checked the entire ED by herself. And like the ED is sung by the same voice actress who did Nagato in Haruhi and did Mitsuki in Kyokai no Kanata, and the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya ED and the Kyokai no Kanata I'll Be Here ED are two of my favorites, so like this is also very high on the list just out of proxy. But yeah, I look forward to it every week. If only there was a podcast I could listen to every week about.
If only, yeah. I wish I was as passionate about Violet Evergarden as you, or about Yuri Moe as Moss.
Dude, I've legit kind of like joked to myself. I'm like, fuck, I wish we did a podcast about Sora Yori instead.
Let's do that. Sora Yori podcast went. Yo, let's do a weekly Sora Yori podcast.
A place
Oh,
further than the
the
Violet
week.
Everweekly. Yeah. I don't know. We've talked a lot about Violet Evergarden. I would say I'm on the fence with this so far. Overall, it's not making me feel things, I guess.
You're also Russian. Like, the cold doesn't make you feel things.
Mm,
I'm kidding,
I got nothing. I got nothing on it.
I
Yeah.
love it, Gav. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. go on.
Yeah. I just hope that by the end of this anime, I will learn what love is, and that's my end goal. That's about it.
Taryn?
I'm underwhelmed. Actually, no, I'm not underwhelmed. I'm whelmed.
Ooh.
I'm whelmed.
Okay, Robin. Justice.
It's not. I feel that if the show didn't have such high expectations for it coming in, because it's a KyoAni show, and we all know KyoAni shows are probably the most, not overhyped. They're the most pre-hyped shows when it comes to our anime. On top of it, winning the light novel award that you brought up about like it being very special. So obviously, when I walked in, I just kind of expected to get a masterpiece, and I didn't really get that, but I'm intrigued by this show. I think it has potential to do well because finding your purpose stories resonate with me very well, and I really like Violet and how she's kind of like a robotic, and the goal of the story is to basically, however, gain more and more human characteristics for her to figure out her end goal. And then that's the part I feel that they can hammer down the emotions, and that's when you can tell it's going to be a good show. But for now, it's just kind of it's okay. The show is okay for the most part, but like for example, the most recent episode was episode 4, I think. The pacing in that episode was just really fast for me in particular. I don't know what about you guys, but we'll see how future episodes go. For now, I'm just gonna say it's fine. It's fine.
You're fine. You're fine.
I know I'm fine. I'm fine. All right.
Well, do you have anything to say about Weekly Evergarden?
Not really, because I have a podcast called Violet Everweekly where I talk about each episode
What?
individually.
You've already made that.
What?
You've made that podcast.
So fast!
That's
Whoa.
why I've been so quiet lately, because I was recording another podcast.
Okay.
What? Wait, you've already recorded 3 episodes? One for every episode that's come out for Violet Evergarden, all on the R Anime YouTube channel?
Exactly.
What? That's insane.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
prolific, man.
Look at you. You're basically Kyoto Animation now.
Exactly. Yep.
KyoAni Weekly.
KyoAni
But yeah,
Weekly.
It's that I mean, yeah, I think what was interesting for me, and I think a lot of people who were at AX Terran, was that we went into it without many expectations, because like it was Kyoto Animation, but like we were the first people to watch it, right? So like we were so overwhelmed because like we weren't expecting an episode of that like begged to have emotion be felt, that like really wanted to draw you in. Was not expecting that. Because like the last couple of anime that Kyoto Animation had produced before were like Dragon Maid and Phantom World, which aren't exactly like, they won't exactly tug at your heartstrings. Of course, they did produce Koe no Katachi as a movie, but like TV series wise, these were like the more prominent ones.
Dragon Maid tugged at my heartstrings. I love that show.
Dude, Kana is adorable. Kana must be protected.
Toru was my wife, alright?
You do have that whole dragon tail.
I literally have a tail pillow.
Oh, man.
It's my favorite possession.
Maz, I think you need more possessions.
I do.
And I think that's the end of the like first sequence in a series anime for this season. Real quick, like we could go over the sequels. We have Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card arc. So I loved Cardcaptor Sakura. Wrote the watch this for it on our anime. Loved the movies. Saw the prologue as OVA for the Clear Card arc as well at AX. And this show has just been so comfy and so beautiful. And I am so happy that it has been a sequel again. same is not true of Dagashi Kashi. But I am very happy because one of the gripes I had with the first season was that it was 24 minutes long, and now it's back to half-length episodes, which I think fits in with it a lot more. Cav, can you give me a little bit of a rundown on the latest season, possibly last season of Gintama?
Hang on.
Maz, you wanted to say something?
I have something about Dagashi Kashi, alright? Here are my notes for Dagashi Kashi.
Uh-oh.
It's the word nice written 128 times.
Wow, that's a lot of times.
I do not believe you.
Okay, almost a fucking picture.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
Alright, yeah. Speaking of Gintama, it's the final season, yeah. So we'll finally have a resolution of everything here. And I also, Sha asked me to tell you that the ending of this final season is her favorite ending ever now, because she likes it a lot, like a whole lot.
Yeah. Which is crazy because, like, I'm pretty sure Sha had been like, I don't know if anything's ever going to top Bakemonogatari ending as her favorite, but it has.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, shoot. Ladies and gentlemen, listeners of all ages, Moz has just provided us proof with him writing nice 128 times. He has delivered.
Okay.
You underestimate my power.
I have the high ground, Mozilla.
Were you done about Gintama?
It doesn't matter. Go on.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, Nanatsu no Taizai was next. And I just think Nanatsu no Taizai is an interesting series because I watched the first season when it first came out, one of the first seasonals that I kept up with. And then I forgot about everything pretty quickly. Then they did, in 2016, they did like a season 1.5, which was 4 episodes. And then I'm like, okay, cool. I forgot everything about the first season, so this is helpful. And then I forgot everything that happened in that season, too. So yeah.
Sure.
It's this really interesting series that I don't have a strong opinion of. I think it's just, it's okay. I think
it exists.
Yeah, it exists. It's kind of fun. I don't like hate it or anything. It's fun. It's basically DBZ, but in a medieval fantasy, where everyone has like super OP abilities. And this season they introduced power levels.
Whoa!
Will they ever
Wild.
9,000? Only time will tell.
Yeah, so far they're at like 4,800, so maybe.
Oh, interesting.
But
and then Terran.
Yeah.
To cap us off, because Fate lost Encore. Last Encore? Fate Extra? Whatever it's called. Doesn't have good subs yet. Would you like to cap us off by talking about your favorite anime, Overlord 2?
Overlord 2 is an anime.
That's correct. 100%.
Some might doubt that it's an anime.
Anyway, Overlord Season 2, I'm going to be honest, I was not a fan of Season 1. I did not understand the hype behind Season 1, why everyone loves it. Okay, how about this? I understood why people liked Season 1. I just didn't agree with them.
You just like a spooky skeleton main?
Not necessarily. It's just that he has no personality whatsoever.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
also has no flesh. He's all bone.
Would you say he was a hollow personality? He had a hollow
Oh no,
personality.
Cav, stop. I have a bone to pick with you now.
Right.
But alright, the reason I normally would drop a lot of sequels if I didn't have interest, but I picked up Overlord 2 because I expected hopefully that the show would maybe add a little bit more depth to Ainz and the rest of the cast, and we decided to spend the first 4 episodes talking about lizard politics, lizard mating rituals, and other lizard-like things.
That sounds completely accurate because the first season, a lot of people praised the first season because it had more world building, but it was all like super boring and I didn't care. And that hearing that it's just lizards in this season, that like I totally believe you.
And I'm going to be honest, in these 4 episodes, learning about lizard culture, I have grown to greatly appreciate it, more so than the actual main cast of the darn show. There is more depth to these lizards and their society than I care for Ainz and the rest of his ragtag group of people.
Well, I for one welcome our new alien lizard overlords.
Overlord.
And strangely enough, a lot of the light novel readers are really hesitant because apparently the Lizard arc was very divisive amongst the fan base. And now when you like in the threads, everyone's loving it because their pacing is actually pretty good.
Interesting.
And the pacing is good to the point where I actually care more about the lizards than everyone else in the damn show.
Oh dang, that's crazy.
So yeah.
Well,
I'm not sure where the show's gonna go, but it might end up on my dropped list on soon if it doesn't pick up from there.
Nah, you gotta be part of that no drop master race, man.
I'm not that much of a masochist yet.
You'll get there one day. We all do. All right. You know what hasn't had good pacing though? This podcast, because we are way over. But hey, if you've listened all the way to this, thank you so much. We really appreciate your support. Thank you. And we will be actually having, if it's not already out, a thank you video for reaching 1,000 subscribers. So I think we're at like 1,200 now. So thank you, all of you who have subscribed and listened to this podcast. Thank you for the guests who have come on, especially Taryn. You did an awesome job today. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you want to be a part of this podcast and future episodes, leave us a comment in the R Anime threads or sign up on the list. We're always down to have more and more guests on this podcast. And as always, remember that we're not just joking. We actually do have a weekly amazing podcast on Violet Evergarden, hosted by our only Mozilla. So check that out when you can, because it's very good.
It's called Weekly Evergarden Triangle, yes.
It's actually called the Triangle Further Than the Universe. And it's very good. It has lots of triangles.
Yeah, triangles really new of triangles, yes.
He said it. He said it. He said the meme.
Always the memes. And always the thanks. And until next time, stay tuned.
Yep.
Watch Devil May Cry, baby. It's good.
Hello and thank you.